Today marks officially the halfway point of our crochet along, where we're working up 100 Nights of Fiber Frights, making our haunted video store blanket. Things are gonna start rolling now. I know, especially for me, I took a look at my planner last night and I was like, there are a lot of things coming at me. So I really hope that this has been something that you've been able to add into your life very easily. So far, we've done two different things for the blanket. We've made the squares and then we made a granny cluster section, which that was probably the biggest section of the blanket that we've worked on so far. For week 6 and week 7, we had to make our last two squares. So we have a red and a black one that we're making. Let me make sure I said that right because we did have to switch them. Yes, week 6 is a red square, week 7 is a black square. So that's what I'm starting today, is one more black square. But then after that, we're done with that section. So we have the top and bottom part of the blanket because we're going to put those 3 squares together for a top and bottom. And then we have a middle section. And then after that, we're going to start making up all the appliques. And for those weeks, the part that we're working on is going to be a little bit smaller, but we'll end up doing 2 of them. I just want to make sure that you take the time, sit down with me today, and if you need to write it out differently, I mean, this week we have another square. We're just going to keep rolling with the black square, crochet that one out, and we'll be totally fine. But just keep it in mind. Are there things that you're going to be doing, you're going to be adding into the Burr months? I did see my first official pumpkin yesterday when I was at the grocery store. They weren't pie pumpkins. I would have been very excited about that. I have been so wanting to make some pumpkin soup. This past week, it was really chilly, or not like really chilly, but we're starting to feel that crisp air roll in, and soup. I am such a soup fan. Pumpkin soup, squash soup. I mean, basically anything and everything, but pumpkin soup, like that's the one thing that I really wanted to make. I was wishful thinking that I could make it this week and kind of roll into September that way. So I'm going to keep my eyes out for pie pumpkins. I do want to do some more baking. So my planner, which what we've been working up so far, just had, okay, the rows that we're working up, also the movie that we're watching. Now it's going to have a little bit more. Also, I have some of my haunted woobles that I need to work up. I did start another blanket. Yeah, it's just all starting to come together and I'm excited. Like, I'm not overwhelmed yet. So hopefully you don't feel that way either. Long way around of saying, hopefully this blanket is still a fun addition to your day and it isn't something that has gotten so overwhelming that you're like, oh my gosh, we're only halfway through. Because I feel excited and I'm like, oh my gosh, we're halfway through. That's crazy. That's wild. We've made it to week 7 and I'm still wanting to sit down and work up this blanket. So hopefully you still feel that way. Let me know in the comments what movies you're watching this week. If they are not the ones that I'm watching, you got something else going on. Thank you again for shouting out all of the ones that you have been watching. I do have 3 more movies that I'm going to be adding on to this edition here, which I might actually need to start putting them on here because it's gonna get to be a lot. We're starting to see a ton of new movies in theaters and also video on demand. I feel like, okay, can we have a second about that? It has been such a great year for horror movies, specifically B horror movies and video on demand. So many of them have just come straight to streaming, which I love. Like, I want to be in my yarn dungeon, working on a crochet blanket, watching these movies, just being cozy. That's the way I would prefer to watch a movie instead of going to a theater. So I'm really, really happy that we've seen so many of those. This week, I do want to watch the movie Together. Dangerous Animals, I have yet to see that one, but I knew that it was going to come to Shudder. So I was kind of holding out on that one. I know it's more of like a summerween watch, a spooky ocean type of movie. I just didn't have time to watch it. And then we got so close to it being released on Shudder. And I do have that streaming platform. So I'm like, okay, I'm just going to wait. So that's 2 right there. Also, Ghoul Squad's suggestion this week was Please Don't Feed the Children. Have not watched that one, and I am planning on watching that. So that's 3 right there that I have to add into the week somehow, somewhere. Okay, let's get into the movies that we have this week. So starting Monday, we have Night of the Living Dead. I do that every time. It's not dead. Night of the Living Deb. There we go. Tuesday is Villains. Wednesday, Lights Out. Thursday, Queen of the Damned. Friday, The Mortuary Collection. Saturday, we have Series Saturday, which which is Chucky, just a total classic right there. And Sunday, we're going to be watching The Gulag on Shudder, getting our pumpkin ambiance action going on, which last week I did end up watching 3 hours of that. Like, I threw it on. I was working up on my blanket and I still needed a little extra time. So I just hit, okay, let's do the next one. So I did Return of the Gulag, the original, and then there's like Son of the Gulag. I watched all three of those, which is kind of nice to have a little different variation of the noise and also the jack-o'-lantern that was up there. Then staying on Shudder, we're going to be watching Corporate Animals. That was another one that was super tough for me to figure out where I wanted to watch it because it definitely has Summerween vibes, but also it could very easily be this time where the trees are still green, but some of them are starting to turn. I went for a run yesterday and I found my first crispy red leaf. It was like so perfect in the middle of the tree, just one red leaf. Every other leaf was green and thriving, and this one was it was a perfect gift of fall right there, which makes me even more happy that I have this blanket that I've been working up because every single week I have these memories now that I've been crocheting into my blanket, as well as the planner. This has been so nice. I really hope that you've been making it your own too, with adding the scrapbook pages of movies, adding recipes that you've been working on. As soon as I find a pie pumpkin, we will be making pumpkin soup together. So all the way back here in our recipe book, spooky treats, and then one page further where we have some of our tea recipes. Some of my favorite recipes involve very few ingredients. They are super quick to make, and either you can get them done start to finish very quickly, or you make it, throw it in a pot, and just let it do its thing for the day. Oh, also caramelized pecans. I did get a couple of giant bags of that yesterday in preparation for this week. That is another recipe that we are going to be doing. So yeah, a lot of things to look forward to this week. Also, we do have our haunted book club. We voted on that and we have a brand new one that we're going to start tomorrow. All of the books that I read through August, we're going to do a little chit chat through all of that. So if you read We Live Here Now, that was our main one for August. There were just so many things going on. I was like, I need to take a second. Okay, which one did we read? Yes, we read that one. Also, The Cold Eternity and The Pumpkin Queen. Those were the three that I started at the beginning of August, even though I read quite a few more. We do have an official one that we're going to be starting tomorrow, as well as two other ones that I chose because I just couldn't pick just one. And I figured if I went through that many in August, September, I have a lot of confidence that I'm going to read all three of these. Plus, we do have a cozy murder mystery as well, and there's 2 books of that out. So potentially I could go through 5 different books. But the cozy murder mystery one, that one I normally do an audiobook version, something that I really enjoy doing in the morning, putting the Gulag on, having that as background noise, and then having the audiobook going, working up a crochet blanket because now I have 3 of them. So I have my Hirschner's one, which is this little baddie right here. I've been slowly working on that. We have the one that we're working on now, and then I started another one that uses a little bit of chunkier yarn. So I have a nice variation going on. Hopefully you're also starting to see signs of fall and things that you want to do. Maybe you've already found pie pumpkins. If you have, shout out in the comments below, or you're making some pumpkin cookies. Like, what are we doing to really welcome in the Burr months? For our crochet along this week, that is it. So everything is all set up, ready to go. Thanks for being here. I totally appreciate it. Have a super spooky rest of your night, and I will see you in my next video.